Spinel versus the Hulk.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
The winner is Spinel.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop.
You guys thought it couldn't get any worse, but unfortunately it does. Yes, it is time for another one of these videos. This time it is about Spinel from Steven Universe, or more specifically, an extremely inaccurate fan-made death battle with her fighting the Hulk. Now, how would any human being on the planet Earth even think that Spinel would have a chance in hell to beat the Hulk? Well, they listed some feats, and they listed their reasons, and we're going to go over them. You thought the Jenny XJ9 fan-made death battle was the worst? Oh my freaking guardsman squad, this one takes the cake. Before I saw this fan-made death battle, I found another fan battle forum saying if Garo from One Punch Man was fighting Spinel, and one person commented that Spinel would stomp Garo, which is ridiculous, and I thought that was bad enough. But this is a million times worse. Because not only do they say that Spinel can beat the Hulk, and you guys might think, well, maybe they are using a weaker version of Hulk, maybe they are using MCU Hulk. You know, people, I would have felt a lot better if that was the case, but unfortunately, that is too good to be true. You know which Hulk they used? According to the author themselves, they use Comic Hulk.
Not true. That's impossible!
That is the reason why this is now the worst fan-made death battle of all time. The fact that they use Comic Hulk is literally the most awful thing here, and one of the largest insults to injuries when it comes to death battle. And it is because of what the author believed and what they put down about the characters is filled with misinformation, and also lack of sufficient information. Before I read through the fan-made death battle, there's a good thing that came out of this. It is not in the original post itself, but the people that commented. After the author finished writing this, literally everyone has strongly disagreed and dismantled the death battle, pointing out how completely inaccurate it is. So it's a good thing that the audience is actually smarter this time. That is not the only good thing that came out of this, but I will get to that later. To skim through this painful fan novel, unlike the Jenny XJ9 battle, the writer actually did put their name on it, but I'm not going to show you who it is because this is not to direct hate to them. And this one has better grammar than the Jenny XJ9 one, but that doesn't mean it has no errors, and the terrible result still outweighs the positives more so. To start out, the reason this guy put Hulk and Spinel together is because they are characters that deal with anger. This is not a close enough similarity. Spinel only got angry once and wanted revenge. Hulk is a character that gets stronger the angrier he gets, and that is something that Spinel does not have. On to the first category. The writer starts with Spinel. They start with the story, then they go on to her stretching signature abilities, but when it gets to her weapons, it gets weird. The Gem Rejuvenator is one thing, which wouldn't do jack to a non-gem character, but the strangest weapon they include is the Injector. Seriously? All it has is a toxin, but being used as a weapon is incredibly weird. She cannot physically lift it up and aim it down like a gun and shoot people with the toxin. Also, when all of the toxin splashed out in the movie, it did not do jack to the earth. It's more like a spaceship than a weapon. In fact, it's not used as a weapon at all. Next up, they go to some of her feats. When the writer talks about her being able to dodge Garnet's punches, comes the first bit of misinformation. They say that Garnet can deflect lightning, but here they say that lightning is 220 million miles per hour.
Really, dude?
They mistakenly put million twice. They put the number million, which is the 6 extra zeros, and then add the word million on there. If they meant to put just 220 million miles per hour, this is false. A lightning bolt does not travel that fast. In actuality, it travels closer to 224,000 miles per hour, or 3,700 miles per minute, which is also 62 miles per second. What the writer put here was the return stroke speed. Garnet did not deflect a return stroke. Then they say Spinel can lift a 175-pound boulder. As if that does anything to rival the Hulk. Heck, even real-life people can lift up heavier than that. They make a mistake with their multi-million miles per hour speed by saying 22 million after saying 220 million. So the writer is very forgetful. They also have more grammar fails. Then they say the characters can dodge lasers, as in light speed lasers. What they use to determine this is a weapon called laser light cannon. They claimed that Pearl dodged it, which they don't show here. One thing that I hate about fan-made death battles is that some people try to use buzzwords like the names of objects to automatically consider the statistics of the abilities of said objects. This is a completely ludicrous and anecdotal way to scale things. Let's go to Armored Core. That franchise is filled with laser rifles and laser cannons, but here's the thing. When a mech dodges it, does that mean the mechs are going relativistic speeds? No, it's just jumping the gun. A laser projectile is completely different from a laser ray. The writer then says gems can bend metal, which is fine. One other thing they do write down is the durability of the gem itself. Amethyst falling from the lighthouse and landed with her gem face planting on a rock, cracking it. One thing is that this guy ignored how damaging a gem is not the same as damaging the physical body of a gem, so he keeps adding to the pounds of force. A sword piercing through the physical body is much easier than piercing through the gem itself. Plus, if Amethyst landed on her back on that rock, not only would her gem not be damaged, but she would also not be poofed either, so the writer is layering nonsense with even more nonsense. A gem's physical body is a cushion for the gem. A pillow landing on a rock is not the same as a rock landing on a rock. A sword would cut a pillow, but a hammer would do nothing to a pillow. To a rock, a sword would do nothing, but a hammer would. So this writer is using some false scaling right here. This guy doesn't understand why Spinel was able to beat the gems. The only reasons why Spinel was able to beat them are because of the Rejuvenator, and she attacked them unsuspected. For the next category, they cover Hulk. They make the obvious but vaguely stated superhuman strength, stamina, and durability. They list his healing factor and name one speed feat of catching a missile which can go 2,300 miles per hour, which is a massively lowballed speed feat for Comic Hulk. Also, I should point out, lowball and downplay are not the same things. How really fast is Comic Hulk? Well, I will explain later, but let's move forward. Next, they list a bunch of basic details for Hulk, but all of this is disregarded in the fight, especially since afterwards he reinforces his points mentioned with actual feats Hulk has done, which is way stronger than a Steven Universe Diamond has done, including lifting a billion-ton mountain and pulling 2 Earth tectonic plates together and saying they weigh over 90 quintillion tons, including Hulk escaping the Earth's orbit. But speaking of the feat, they mention it, so let's read what the writer types. Escaped Earth's orbit in one jump, weighing 2,400 pounds and a speed of 25,000. Okay, once again, the guy makes the error another 2 times, one here and another here. So speed of 25k miles per hour, and the Earth's pull force, but the weird thing said here is 2,204,000. 2,204,000 pounds of force? I'm going to guess he only means 1,000, but that is way too low for it to be 2,000 pounds of force. It would be strange if he meant 1,000,000 because this is a 4-digit number, not a 7-digit number. They finish off with saying he's not perfect, which should be obvious. No character is perfect, and this of course doesn't make him less perfect than Spinel. And now on to the fight. I'm going to skip to the end for the ridiculous anomalies. First, Spinel with a bloody nose and a broken arm. That one is 100% impossible. Gems do not have blood. Secondly, Spinel is a character that can stretch with great flexibility. She cannot have broken bones in any shape or form. The second stupid anomaly is how Spinel kills the Hulk. She uses the injector. How? Does she pick it up and use it as a knife? That's not even how it works. On to one of the dumbest segments, and it is the conclusion. First, they say that the matchup was close. No, it is not even close. Saying this matchup is close makes as much sense as saying Mercury is close to Pluto. Comic Hulk was painfully and disgustingly downplayed. Even his strength and durability were non-existent in this fan-made fight, because the writer even admitted Hulk can rival Planet Busters, yet he does not show anything in this battle close to that level of destruction as written in the fight. Durability did not exist either, despite saying Hulk can tank Planet Buster characters. On the flip side, Spinel was wanked hard. They say she is much faster. They go to the speed and say Comic Hulk can reach speeds of 38,000, but say that Spinel is faster by matching Garnet, who can dodge lightning? Alright, I know what most of you are asking. When and where did Garnet dodge lightning? Well, I found out what they are talking about. Without further ado, let's roll the clip. Yeah, that's the lightning quote-unquote dodging moment. This guy got the word mixed up. And again, they falsely state the speed of a lightning branch traveling 300 million miles per hour. That is actually the return stroke speed, which again, that was not what Garnet reacted to. To show what this lightning deflecting feat would actually compare to, let's go back to one of the best official death battles. Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. If you have not seen the death battle yet, go watch it. Now, in the Samurai death battle, when you go to the conclusion of both characters, they compare the light speed feats that both of them have. Jack's distance was much shorter than Afro's. Afro's distance being approximately 29 feet. Jack had to react 70% the speed of light, while Afro reacted to 20% of that speed. To compare this to what Garnet deflected, first is the speed of how fast the leader traveling speed of a lightning strike is, and the distance that Garnet reacted to. The clouds above the sky are much farther than what Jack and Afro did, but for the sake of fairness, and when she reacts, let's say when the lightning appears on screen. Taking Garnet's height, which the show never confirmed, let's say she's 6.5 feet, then cover the distance between her and the top of the frame. The distance she reacted to could be about 12 feet. That is about a little less than half of what Afro Samurai reacted to, but it is still shorter than what Jack reacted to. If this was light speed, her percentage would be about 50%. However, the speed of a leader lightning strike is 62 miles per second. The speed of light, however, is 186,000 miles per second. So the speed that Garnet reacted to is 3,000 times slower than what Afro and Jack reacted to. So guaranteed that a character like Samurai Jack can poof Garnet in a one-on-one battle. Another terrible thing they said is Spinel has way more experience for defeating the gems.
That is a shockingly unbiblical statement.
One fight does not automatically give a character more experience than another character, astronomically much less than a comic book character like Hulk, who's been to thousands of battles. And no, standing in one spot for 6,000 years is not fighting experience. Speaking of experience and dodging lightning, the writer completely ignores that Thor is literally a character that shoots lightning, and Hulk has battled characters like Thor, despite the writer mentioning Hulk keeping up with fighting Thor. Now, to completely prove how Hulk was terribly downplayed here, let's talk about the speed. This guy said Hulk reacted to a missile going 2,000 miles per hour, which is not even close to how fast Hulk can go. Plus, that was more of a reaction feat than a speed feat. Even if Steven Universe characters could react to 300 million miles per hour speeds, Hulk has actually gone much faster. Let's show a short clip by our good friend Chuck in his video titled, "Is this the strongest form of the Hulk?" I'm going to show where he talks about Hulk's speed, so let's roll the clip.
And for some reason, a lot of people think that the Hulk is really slow, but nope, the Hulk is not slow either. He's actually been able to keep up in combat against the Silver Surfer, Thor, Gladiator, the Sentry, and many other characters that have shown massively faster than light combat speeds and travel speeds alike. For example, the Silver Surfer has actually been able to cross millions of light years in mere moments. He actually traveled from a distant galaxy to the planet Earth in about the time it took Mr. Fantastic to actually reach his lab. Even if we said it took Reed like an hour to reach his lab, Norrin would still be traveling at over 22 billions of times the speed of light, if we were to assume that he traveled from the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a whopping 2.5 million light years away from the planet Earth. Hulk has also been able to keep up in combat and beat the shit out of Gladiator, and I mean, this guy's really powerful and fast as well. Gladiator has been able to fight off against Hyperion in about a couple of nanoseconds, and he could even track and follow Skrulls in a short period of time through galactic distances. If the Hulk is able to keep up in combat and, damage these guys, then he should also have combat speed reaction times, comparable to them as well.
There you have it. Even though Chuck talks about Space Punisher Hulk, weaker versions of Comic Hulk can still catch up to characters that can go faster than light speeds, something that 300 million miles per hour does not touch, which none of the Steven Universe characters are capable of, not even close by the moon's distance to the Earth. The summary of this terrible death battle: the grammar, not as bad as the Jenny XJ9 one, but it is still laughably bad. The accuracy of the power between the two characters and the result, however, make the Jenny XJ9 one look like a kindergarten math test being done by an adult getting a D, but this one looks like the same test also done by an adult but got an F instead, and yes, that includes the E grades in between. Now, besides all of the audience completely disagreeing with him, after all the backlash, the other good thing that came out of this death battle was the writer completely making a 180 and stating how this is his most hated creation on Death Battle Fanon. He then corrected nearly all of the misinformation he said from the previous version and admitted that Hulk squashes every category that Spinel does and how her having more conscious of intelligence does nothing to help her out. Heck, he even corrects himself about Lightning having 2 different speeds and how Hulk has way faster feet. So finally, a person who made a misinformed, fan-made death battle saw the light of truth. So that concludes the general problems with the original post of the fan-made death battle. To the audience watching, do not wank and lie about Spinel or any other Steven Universe characters like Garnet. Also, do not yank comic book characters like the Hulk without looking up their triumphs that measures each different skill that they have. By the way, there's a Jenny XJ9 versus Cyborg fan-made death battle in the making. Even the author is planning to add sun moving to her list of strengths. You better not, because I am keeping an eye on it. So please look up all the information to confirm what you are talking about.
So get off your damage control, accept the facts, and deal with it.